because it's not a video. Hey, this might be new. Well, that was different.
That was. It might be new. It might be old. It might be,
Oh no, it's definitely new. Nobody has seen that one before. That was one I was playing around with when I first started to mess around with this because I dropped the ball. So hi everybody.
What?
What I did?
You didn't drop the ball, Frank.
I did. Welcome to the Geek Spot news thing, where none of my stuff was working tonight. It's been fun. It's been awesome. It's been great. But you can hear me, right?
Oh, it sounds delightful. So you sound great.
You sound great too. Hi Dom. Hi Charles.
Better than I've ever heard you sound.
Oh, you are so specially nice to me today.
It's the Flash shirt.
It's the Flash shirt returned. It's the Jabba sail barge. That right there. New.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we're going to talk Yellowstone in a little bit, and you're so excited.
Can't wait. It's the most dramatic show on television. So much happens. It's definitely not like watching the slowest episode of Game of Thrones ever.
But before we go there, we have to do the general, as it says here, general catch-up. It says it on my show list. Look, I have...
Look at you with a run of show.
Yo, look at all that. That's all that stuff.
Never been more proud of you.
I had I had to leave work a little early today. I had some stuff to do. So how are you?
Got it.
How's your
Good, man. I was in Mamma Mia theater mode for a week. So 6 out of the last 7 days I was playing the show with all the Abitunes doing the things. Still squeezing in some time to watch some stuff. Managed to finish Legends of Vox Machina.
I finished stuff.
I can't wait to hear what you finished. Which Legends of Vox Machina this season was great. Took some turns I didn't expect it to, but overall was if you haven't been watching that show all the seasons, it's based on Critical Role, which was the D&D game with a bunch of voice actors that all ended up becoming voice actors on a show they created with their characters from Critical Role. It's pretty cool. But great show. My kid and I watched that, so I had to wait. Next up on that list is Arcane, which dropped over the weekend, so I'm stoked to go watch part 1 of that. But other than that, not a whole lot. Busy doing that stuff. Concerts for the kids and games and all sorts of stuff and doing the gigs. How about you, man?
I didn't do anything this weekend, really. I was supposed to was teaching my son how to drive Saturday, which was fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I let him drive from the Wawa up to the Franklin Mills. Did great. Didn't want to drive home, though. He's like, I'm done. I was like, okay. Can't do that when you get your own car, though. You can't just go, I'm done. And
you can. You just got to Uber home, and then you Uber back to the car the next day.
We were anticipating the big SEPTA strike that hasn't happened yet. That's
thinking about it
to happen again. Oh, they went into negotiations. They postponed the negotiations because I have a friend that works there, and then they picked them up Sunday at 4:00, right at a hotel, right during the Dallas Philly game. So you know they got a lot of negotiations done during the Dallas Philly game.
I mean, look, after the second quarter, you could negotiate all you wanted. Nobody was really watching after that point.
I didn't watch from the beginning. I am now 1-9 in fantasy football, and the NFL can just go jump off a bridge.
You're doing a great job.
I don't care about the NFL. I really didn't do anything else this weekend. I had hockey Sunday morning, played awfully, but we won. And I have, what do I have? 2 games tomorrow night.
Ooh.
And a game Thursday night. We'll see how that works out for us.
Did you finish working through your list of shows to watch?
I definitely am ready to start Doctor Who this week.
Great.
I am ready.
You've killed all of the zombies. Oh, that reminds me. I finished that too. Daryl Dixon season 2. I finished.
And that was good?
It was the whole season was very up hit or miss. Season 1 was consistently pretty good. This season had some really strong episodes and some really not so strong episodes. The finale was both.
Oh, nice.
Started out as a pretty strong episode and then went a totally different direction and got super weird. as we're moving on to England for next season, it
Ah,
seems. So we'll see how that goes for them and where they get to shoot on location, or if they're going to stay in France and shoot pretend it's England. I don't know. Daryl and Carol are still together, so we will continue to get those two, which is a great dynamic that they haven't really gotten to explore as much as I would like them to have. So I'm stoked to continue that storyline.
there's another show with great dynamic between a brother and sister that was on this weekend, but we'll get there later. I know you're anxious to talk about it.
Oh, was there? I don't know. Are they really brother and sister?
I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, those two are.
Hmm.
So, hi, Savius. Charles met the cast of Hocus Pocus this weekend. That sounds fun. I know there was a lot.
I would assume it's the original cast because I don't even know who the second cast is.
I didn't even know there was a second cast.
Really? Well, there's not. It's the same as the first cast,
We
just a little bit older.
So instead of doing a normal like list type of thing that I usually like, they're hit or miss. We're doing our own list. And did you do the MCU shows?
Did you want me to do different shows?
No, not this week.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I did the Disney Plus
Disney Plus.
MCU shows so far. Given the ending of Agatha,
Yes.
and we were on a little crunch last week from a time standpoint, we decided that it would be a good idea to figure out where we stood once Agatha was in, and we were where are we at? 10 shows.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14.
That have already aired.
I have 14 Disney Plus shows, not including the 3 I didn't watch. So I guess we'll start from the bottom just to see how this plays.
I'm intrigued to see how you found so many more Disney Plus shows for Marvel than exist.
I did. So
Did you do seasons?
No. Well, yeah, I did. I kind of broke, Loki into seasons and What If into seasons, and I didn't. I actually skipped one. Now that I think, but we'll see. So the 3
I can't wait to see.
I see. I love doing this to you. Um, the 3 I did not watch. Do you count the Groot season 1 and 2 as Disney Plus shows?
No.
Okay, so they're out. So they don't count. I didn't watch them. What about Werewolf by Night?
See, that was a special, so I wouldn't count that as a TV series.
Okay, so the Guardians then is also counted as a special, not a series, right?
Correct.
So that one's out. Cool. There's 3 out right away. And you counted the What Ifs, right?
Yeah, I counted them as one unit though.
And okay, so I broke them up. So
we can break them up too. I can figure out where to put them.
Do you want to?
I mean, one season is much higher than the other season for that show.
Well, so do you want to start at the very top, or do you want to start at the bottom?
No, let's work our way. We started from the bottom.
All right, I think we can both agree that we both have Secret Invasion at the very bottom of this list.
We do, and I bet we get different like right away after that.
Oh my god, it's going to be night and day after this. What do you have above Secret Invasion?
So my next one is Moon Knight.
Okay, mine's a little bit higher than yours. I have What If Season 2.
It's fair. What If Season took some hits on my list because of Season 2.
Yeah.
I did not split them up, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went Secret Invasion, Moon Knight, and then just all of Loki because I couldn't stand it.
Wow. Yeah, we have very, very different lists because I have Secret Invasion, What If 2, then What If 1. I really wasn't a fan of the What Ifs.
I thought What If Season 1 was pretty strong.
Yeah, it didn't grab me. It didn't
Season 2 was a lot of trying to recapture what they did in Season 1 not well.
That's fair. Then above that I have She-Hulk. It's very low.
Oh, yeah. No. My next one is Echo.
Right. So I have Echo above She-Hulk. I liked Echo.
Yeah.
She-Hulk.
I don't know that you saw She-Hulk on Disney Plus then.
I just the CGI took me out of She-Hulk. But the story was good. And I enjoyed a lot of that. And of course Madison Madison should bump it a couple, I don't know.
She should. And Wong. I mean, come on.
That's true. So what do you have above wherever you are?
So I'm at if I was at 10, I'm at 9, 8, 7, 6th. 6th place for me would be, I think that's wrong. I think it's 7th. Anyway, would be WandaVision.
Wow, we have way different lists.
Yeah, look, I WandaVision I thought was okay. And we talked about it on our very first episode if you caught the replay a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Um, it had a lot of opportunity as far as being a coherent story.
it
I mean,
did.
look, Megan Thee Stallion was fantastic in She-Hulk Dom in the chat.
I didn't enjoy it as much.
He probably didn't get to that end credits part. It's fine.
No, no, I did. I so yeah, above above Echo, that's where I have Moon Knight. So it's not as far down
Wow,
as you, but it's further up than you. It's like right in the middle.
you really liked Moon Knight.
I did. I
Oh,
enjoyed. I really did. I enjoyed it. That's all I can say.
okay,
What?
that's good.
Where are you at next?
Oh, 11. 11 shows is what I had. I can't do math.
Okay.
All right, so after WandaVision, that started it all. That there's been so many better things since then. Then after WandaVision, I put What If.
Okay.
I would have had What If higher, except for the season 2 was so bad for the
Yeah,
most part, especially that Christmas episode with Happy. Like, no,
I'm pretty sure I didn't finish it. I mean, that's a
it's,
shock.
look, it got stronger the last couple episodes. Were actually decent once it found its footing. And like, this is what we've been trying to set up this whole time.
Uh huh. Uh huh. I
It,
like after the first episode, I skipped like two or three, and I was like, all right, I can't do this.
yeah, that's understandable. Yes, that's why What If was so low on my list. Though. Season 2 is not strong.
So I have seven left.
I 5.
Okay. So my next show was Loki season 2.
It was pretty low. Okay.
It is, but
Well,
Agatha,
yeah, you have the seasons of Loki. I didn't have 2. I had 1.
I did. I broke. So for this, I broke out Loki 2, then Loki 1 above it. So it kind of sandwiches them both together. I felt the first season was stronger than the second season, but I enjoyed it. I think for me the whole ending with Kang really sold that first season for me and set up what was going to be a really awesome time that now has shifted.
Yeah, I felt like the show advertised itself as like a Doctor Who fun traveling show, and it just never delivered on the promise that it made to me up front.
Right.
Which is why like I could never get into it. I was like, this show said it was going to be this,
Oh,
and if it was something way better
thank you.
instead, I would have been down. But it never got better, so I could not dig in.
So what do you have? What do you have next up?
Next, I got Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay, I have Falcon and Winter Soldier there, so that's about the same spot.
Oh,
Although
look at that!
I like that.
It's our second match.
It's our second match. I I I enjoyed the play between Bucky and Sam a lot. I thought they had a really good dynamic. See, Dom, I asked that at the beginning. Jack counts that as a one-off, right?
What had you seen Werewolf by Night, Frank?
No, it was in my did not
Yeah,
see list, so that's why.
right. So it's moot.
Did you enjoy
If
it?
we did not, if I wanted to, I don't count Werewolf by Night as a series because the only reason it's a series is because they released it in black and white and then again in color. Um, and I don't know if they're going to have any more Halloween specials. If they do, then maybe that would go on a future list. But if I had to put Werewolf by Night in, it would probably be actually right around where we're at right now on my list.
Okay,
It was stronger than a lot of the stuff, but it was really, for not being very long, it was really slow.
okay. What do you have above Falcon?
Agatha, it goes there for me.
Wow. Yeah. See, I have Hawkeye there, but
Oh, yeah. Hawkeye's a little higher on my list.
right. No, Hawkeye was actually next, but Agatha bumped it one
Mm.
for me.
Yeah, look, Hawkeye, out of the initial batch, Hawkeye was hands down my favorite.
Same.
And out of those initial rounds of shows, the first 4 at least, those are the only 4 that we've had payoffs from any of the end part 2, right?
Yes.
Because they were setting up things in the movies and doing interconnected there versus all the other shows since then have really just set up things like in other shows that they didn't decide to make.
Yeah. What do you have where I have Hawkeye? What do you have?
Did I just say Agatha? I just said Agatha, right?
Agatha, right. So
So then I have She-Hulk.
Okay, I have three left. You have two left.
Yeah, my top three. My number three is She-Hulk.
Okay.
Just because I've always loved that character, and they wrote the TV show is written in the style of the run in the late '80s, which was fantastic for that
That's fair.
character, and it kept true to She-Hulk. Like if people, I don't think a lot of people that not just you, but a lot of people that didn't get the show, besides having an agenda to not get the show,
Right.
um, didn't realize that character was Deadpool before Deadpool.
With
And
the
like she's broken the fourth wall since like the mid '80s,
Gotcha.
and has slept her way through the entire MCU. So like there was nothing out of character about what they did on the show with her. It was all like very in line with how her character went through.
Yeah, I said that, Dom. The CGI was really bad, but I enjoyed the Matt Murdock the Daredevil cameo, and I liked. I enjoyed it, but it was way lower on my list.
Yeah, well
Because
that's why we compare.
yeah, now I have Agatha. For me, it's the third best,
Okay.
barely the third best.
Well, yeah, I had that was my number four, so we're pretty close on that one.
Right.
And then above She-Hulk, I had Hawkeye.
Okay. Which is it's a good spot for that. I can't argue that. I like that spot for it.
Look, the fact that it's been now and only 3 years, which is actually kind of crazy.
Right.
That was since we got more Haley Steinfeld, except for the 2 seconds at the end of Miss or the Marvels.
Right. Um.
Is criminal that they haven't done more with that character. At least
Uh,
we're getting more Yelena again.
yeah, I'm very happy about that. I have that down. I wanna talk about that. My number two show that I have WandaVision is number two. See,
Wow.
I really enjoyed WandaVision. I got the whole throwback stuff and the sitcom thing, and like that really hit me right in the feels the first couple of episodes.
I feel like I got to go back and listen to the tapes. I don't remember that being true.
I think it is that high for me. I will look it up this week and I will cut that clip out of where we did our rankings and put that as a video.
All right.
Um, what do you have?
I think we have the same number one. It sounds like.
I probably do. Did you do your number two? Is that She-Hulk?
No, Hawkeye was my number two.
Hawkeye's number two. Number one for me was Miss Marvel.
Same.
Yeah, it was, and I love the Marvels movie. I really did love the Marvels movie. I just thought it was a break from trying to interconnect it with everything so much as it was just a fun movie. It was just a
But
like
it also interconnected with everything.
it did, but they weren't forcing it down your throat. Like I said before, and I know I've said this before, they let Samuel L. Jackson be himself more in that movie than they have. He's great as Nick Fury, don't get me wrong, but they kind of let him be a little bit more relaxed as himself and have fun with Nick Fury.
Yeah, if they'd actually let it pay off Secret Invasion like we expected it to, it would have hit all of the points, right? It would have paid off WandaVision, it would have paid off Miss Marvel, it would have paid off Secret Invasion and the first Captain Marvel movie. Like it would have hit all of the points that it needed to hit.
Yeah.
Alas, that was not the case.
Before I go, I only have like two bits of like normal news before we go into the D3 stuff, but I wanna hear if you watched a show. You said you might get to finish a season of a show.
I did. I pushed through and I finished season 3 of The Office over the last few days. So that included product recall with the watermark that was of a
Absolutely
suggestive nature.
great.
They went through overall great. I mean, that episode was fantastic.
Hmm.
No notes other than Andy dating the high school girl was a little rough.
That was the thing that I told you that was the scene that I was like, whoa, that was really just wow.
Yeah, amazing what they used to put on network television.
Right?
Um, but yeah, lots of questionable going on there. The Angela stuff with her trying to be customer service friendly was fun.
That was yeah.
But overall, yeah, that was a good episode. And then we had women's appreciation
Yeah, that wasn't
for after Phyllis gets flashed. Strong episode all around. Continues with Pam just being an awful human being. Setting Dwight up and drawing the flasher as Dwight with a little Hitler mustache.
That was awesome. That was great.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's weird because they for the first like 2/3 of this season they wrote Dwight as a different character.
Yeah.
And then this one, you get Michael and Jan breaking up. You go through what he's going to do. He forms his like council of women in the office.
Yeah.
Not bad. Then we got Beach Games, which was good.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. I enjoyed that. And then
so that was fun. Yeah, and you continue to not understand why anybody would pick Pam. The more episodes we go through. And then we get The Job. So strong double episode because that was a twofer.
Yep. The big payoff. The payoff we get at the end. Right? Are you free for dinner?
Yeah.
There it is. That's the payoff, right?
Yeah, I guess I still don't get why.
We go into season 4 and it's a whole different show.
I bet it is. Now they can really team up and bully the other people in the office. I can't wait.
Well, and then you saw at the end who they actually offered the job to, which was completely out of left field.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I have no idea I almost started season 4 before we hit tonight, but I decided I would wait and leave it off there so I can talk about how season 4 is a completely revitalized show and totally different.
It is.
What happens with Michael and Jan and her new set of girls.
Yeah, the twins.
Yep.
They really just brought in a whole new cast and was like one by one they're like gone.
Yeah, except for it's interesting to me that they decided so far just to keep Ed Helms, and because it feels like Rashida Jones is not going to be there, which is a sin.
It is,
but I guess I'll find out when I get to the next season.
There's a lot of people online that really don't like the Jim and Pam thing and wonder why he would have chosen her over Karen Filippelli. Are you exotic?
Yeah, she's not
Are you exotic?
Not.
Was your father in the military? Excuse me. Okay. It gets better.
I keep being told that. Luckily, I'm only like 50 episodes in.
Right. And this season, the next season's only 19 episodes, so that's good.
Being told it gets better, so we'll see.
Look, you got a strong 19 episode season and then a 28 episode season to come in.
Great. That means a lot of double episodes, I'm guessing.
I don't remember. I mean, I know the episodes, but I don't remember if they're double. There are a couple doubles. One double that I'm looking at. One double.
Yeah. Okay.
And you get to see more of what makes Michael Scott a great manager.
Sure. I'm sure something makes him a great manager.
Something does. Okay. Newsy stuff. I don't need that anymore. So, Lionsgate addressed the Borderlands movie and the disastrous box office performance that it had.
Oh, what was wrong with it?
They had an earnings call, and the CEO of Lionsgate blamed the lengthy wait to release the movie due to the COVID-19 pandemic and costly reshoots as the reasons it underperformed, also highlighting how other projects released by them in the same time frame didn't perform as well as expected. I would counter by saying you hired a bunch of expensive actors and made a shitty movie.
It usually does not help.
No. Expensive reshoots, yes, but it was a shitty movie overall.
Yeah, you have watched it. It's still on my list of things to watch because I'm going to go watch some good things before I dig in on that.
The other thing that I had was that'll lead us into the MCU stuff a little bit is there's a Christmas action movie that's debuting.
There is Red One, right?
Featuring Chris Evans and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, and a totally ripped J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Lucy Liu's in it also.
Oh, good.
So,
leave her out of everything.
The premise of this is um, a festive yet explosive journey wherein an infamous bounty hunter, played by Chris Evans, and the North Pole's head of security, played by The Rock, team up on an international mission to rescue Santa Claus after he's kidnapped. It opened to 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, and as I have mentioned before, I'm in a Discord server with a bunch of movie reviewers, great guys. Guy Ken, who comes every so often and pops in. Dom invited me in. Nobody liked it. Nobody.
It doesn't look good. It looks like Chris Evans playing like a bad version of himself from The Gray Man.
Yeah, it does not look good. And I personally this holiday season will stick to Elf and Die Hard and the classics.
Oh, and you got to go see Wicked.
I'll
and
stick
Gladiator 2.
I'll stick to Elf
and Maaaan 2.
I was talking about Christmas movies.
Those are Christmas movies, aren't
Oh,
they? Isn't Gladiator 2 a Christmas movie?
Rambo's a Christmas movie now.
Oh, is it?
There's Christmas decorations in the police station.
Got it.
You arrest them. So that's a Christmas movie now.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3's got to be out before Christmas, so you can go see that.
It's not a Christmas movie, though. I say Christmas.
It might be. You don't know.
Christmas movies.
It could be Sonic and Old Saint Nick. He could race Rudolph around the world.
That's an option. I have lost some weight. Star Wars Celebration is coming up. Star Wars Celebration is taking place next year, 2025, between April 18th and April 20th. 2 days later, Andor Season 2 drops, April 22nd.
A Star Wars story.
Andor Season 2, a Star Wars story. Yes.
Yeah.
The season will consist of 12 episodes. If they air weekly as expected, they haven't really said it how they're going to air them yet. The finale should air sometime around June 24th. It could go longer, depending, if there's multi-episode drops or shorter if they drop a bunch at once.
Season 1, they dropped the first 3, right?
I think so.
Because they give you the first mini arc.
Right, and this is going to take us right up to Rogue One. So we already know how everybody ends up, and I'm okay with that. I'm excited to watch it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Mando and Grogu is releasing May 22nd, 2026, which is 2 years away.
Yep.
And Ahsoka is set to, at this time, possibly release late in 2025.
Okay.
So if they release this early in 2025, and then you get Ahsoka at the end of 2025, and then you can wait until you get Mando and Grogu the following year, they really don't have anything else coming out. Aside Skeleton Crew's coming out this in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Which looks good. It looks fun. I can't say good. I can say it looks fun right now. And then we're getting, I don't know if we mentioned it last week, we're getting a new Star Wars trilogy. We think we briefly touched on it, right?
No, I don't think it was announced yet last week.
Okay. So Simon Kinberg is set to develop a new Star Wars trilogy. Okay? He's going to develop all 3 movies. And at first, it was said that he's going to do episode 10, 11, and 12 and continue the Skywalker saga. That was the big rumors that came out. And the fan base, because Star Wars fan base usually is pretty logical.
They're great.
They're
great.
They stop and they think things through. They reacted the way you would expect. And then, according to the Hollywood Reporter, that was debunked. And Kinberg's movies are not going to be a continuation of the Skywalker saga. It's going to be the intent is to bring brand new characters and a brand new story into that period of time. That I think. So he did the Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller. He's done. He did X-Men: Dark Phoenix, which both of those movies were terrible. If he's doing,
he produced Fantastic.
Okay.
He directed Dark Phoenix.
If he's developing 3 movies together, I think you already have taken a positive step forward from the last three movies, which were disjointed and not made together.
Yeah, look, young buck Simon Kinberg, rookie, set to set the stage for everything. Also created Star Wars Rebels, so that kind of helps him out.
It helped create Star Wars Rebels. Yes, he
Yeah, with Filoni.
creator. Which
So look, we'll see. X-Men Last Stand was not awful.
okay, no,
Jumper was good. Mr. and Mrs. Smith also good. He wrote those three things.
okay.
Among some other things. Look, I think there's potential. Depends on how long they slow roll it, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's like we're gonna let you write for the next 10 years, now we're too far.
But so this movie isn't the same one as the Ray movie that's supposed to come out. Right? That's a completely different movie. So
Correct.
So we're going to get a Ray movie, but are we going to get that first, or are we going to get this trilogy, or is this trilogy going to start?
Yeah, he's also responsible for Days of Future Past,
which was a great movie.
He's done some good stuff, but he also wrote X-Men Apocalypse,
which was the opposite of a great movie.
Yeah, he wrote Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
So like very.
It depends on how long this takes to develop, and it depends on.
Oh, and for you, he wrote XXX State of the Union.
Yeah, that was the third one.
I don't know. Was there a second one?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the Ice Cube one. I was on it.
Yeah.
Okay. We had D23 this weekend, right?
In Brazil.
A lot of stuff dropped in Brazil. A lot of news, couple of trailers. We got the next Captain America trailer, or the final, as they say, Captain America trailer, which revealed a lot more Harrison Ford Red Hulk. And finally, they actually mentioned the freaking Celestial and the fact that they're going to mine it for adamantium. They actually, finally, 10 years later, mentioned this damn thing in the middle of the ocean that has been the bane of Marvel existence.
It's been 4 years, barely.
I exaggerated a small bit. But we finally, look, the trailer looked good. They took the picture from the comic book with Red Hulk, only it's regular Hulk punching the shield, right? And him bracing on the shield. And I like when they do things like that, how Marvel takes those comic book covers where a scene from a comic book puts it in the movie.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
But like Sam's has no super anything, no super soldier serum, none of the things.
No, but
so even if let's say you're holding a trash can lid in front of a car.
Okay.
And a car hits you, doesn't matter that you held something in front of you. A car still hit you.
Okay. I counter that with if my trash can lid was made of adamantium.
Oh, vibranium is
vibranium. I'm sorry. If the trash can was made of vibranium, yes, I think the force of the hit would push me back still, but I think I would survive because of it absorbing the shockwave of it, right?
Maybe, but it's very different for Steve Rogers to take that hit than it is for Sam Wilson to take that hit.
I agree. I saw that was a big bone of contention on the social media sites as well.
I didn't read anything about it because I watched the trailer once, but it's my take on Sam Wilson in general and making somebody not super soldiery.
I understand that, and I am willing to suspend disbelief until I see it. For now.
It's a little early for me for the trailer that they released.
And saying final trailer, it felt like they did release a lot of footage. But this movie also went through a lot of reshoots too,
we're 4 months out though from the movie's not it's a ways away.
And we got a Thunderbolts trailer.
And a Fantastic Four trailer.
Was there a Fantastic Four trailer?
You had to find the right spots, but yes, ton of Fantastic Four footage.
Did you?
We got the Thunderbolts one. I did. We'll talk about that in a second. Sorry, I interrupted you. Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts looks like a really fun movie. It just looks like it's going to be a fun movie.
Yeah, this was another one. Like, I feel like I've seen more of Thunderbolt. It feels like they're really trying hard to sell everybody on Thunderbolts, which makes me nervous.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because Thunderbolts comes out July next year?
I have to look.
It's not for quite a while.
I will tell you when it is. I know it's not anytime. May 2nd.
Okay. Like, I feel like I've seen more trailers for this now than I have for Captain America.
I think I've seen 3 official trailers of this, and the teaser from Comic-Con that I watched.
Yeah, there's been 7 minutes of footage released from that already. If the trailers don't overlap, and they don't overlap much.
No. It is a little early, and it does feel like they're like really trying to get people like, hey, don't forget this is coming. Hey, watch this. But again, you're releasing these things and you're calling them final trailers. You have months to go now.
Right, with nothing new you can release.
No.
For it. So it's a little weird.
Yeah. You said you saw Fantastic Four footage.
Yeah, so they also put out Fantastic Four footage that they didn't release officially.
I'll look for that.
I'm sure you'll find it fairly quickly. So look, good view of it. They're starting at the origin story. They're not leading up to when they get their powers. It seems like it's going to be the story. They're going to start right when they get their powers, and then go.
Okay.
And again, I'm on now that I'm still working my way through the Fantastic Four run in the comics, and I just got to the Jonathan Hickman run from like 2010ish, which was another complete revamp of the characters and everything about them. So like, I can't get mad about that part anymore. The fact that I've been through 6 resets in the comics in this run of Fantastic Four stuff. So we'll see. I mean, they were the first superhero group. So in 2010, we're hitting. They've already been around 50 plus years.
Yeah, I guess.
And there's only so long you can keep Johnny Storm as the young college age guy for 50 years. You know what I mean?
So
and not tell the same story.
The
footage, yeah, it has. You don't get a full on look at the Thing. You don't get any of them using their powers.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that's all CGI they're going to have to add in outside of the practical effects. But it looks interesting. It's very Jetsons.
Right.
So I don't know how that's going to play. And some of the interviews after that, they did that part. They talked about the fact that, hey, they're the only superheroes on this place, so we get to start from scratch. I'm like, oh.
But by the end of the movie, they're going to be over into the...
I don't know that happens by the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
I think we get into some of the wacky multiverse crap that they started doing, because there was a Council of Reeds at one point in the Fantastic Four run, which, you play out the Council of Kangs, and there's always been a lot of Doom stuff, but there was a lot of history with Doom, which...
Right.
Not well done in the Fan-Four-tastic movie.
No.
Not badly done in the first Fantastic Four movie.
No.
But I don't know that you can say, hey, people know this story.
Right.
Because I don't think the Fantastic Four has been in mainstream media for any of this younger generation, unless they're continuing to just assume that their age range for these Marvel movies never gets older. Because they are not capturing the youth in any way, shape, or form with any of these movies anymore.
No.
They're not building long-term plans for any of this stuff because...
Well, they are, as we'll see now with the news that I have from D23 of what they're saying.
Ooh. Oh.
So Kevin Feige addressed a lot of stuff over this D23. The possibility of Deadpool and Wolverine returning. He said the plans with Deadpool and Wolverine will always be the same. We're always wondering where we can fit them in and how fast we could fit them in. He didn't outright confirm any future projects with Jackman and Reynolds, but he did make it sound like there were discussions happening, which is, you figure they're going to work them in at some point, and they teased the hell out of Deadpool and Thor in Secret War, right? I always get them confused. Secret Wars.
And which one?
The Secret Wars, the war one.
Secret Wars is coming after Doomsday.
Right. So, but they teased the Deadpool and Thor thing that's supposed to be taking place during that.
Maybe if they ever pay it off. I don't think they ever pay that off.
Maybe. I mean, that could have just been another fun thing. Um, as far as the Scarlet Witch goes, um, Kevin said we had Agatha all along at Disney Plus just now, and that series was great for us. Since then, many questions have remained in fans' minds about Wanda. So all I can say is we are excited to find out when and how the Scarlet Witch can return. I would say that that's pretty much a confirmation that she's coming back.
Well, if you're doing multiverse, we know there's other Wandas, so like it's pretty
Um,
easy to pull her back, depending on what they decide to do with the variants they bring in and don't bring in, and what characters and all that kind of stuff.
as far as the X-Men go, and this is a little bit of a longer thing, and this is where he gets into the plans. So it says, when we were preparing for Avengers Endgame years ago, it was a matter of getting to the grand finale of our narrative, and then we had to start all over again after that. This time, on the road to Secret Wars, we already know very well what the story will be up until then and beyond. The X-Men are an important part of that future. So, based on his comments, it does not seem like the X-Men are going to come into the MCU until after Secret War is over, in maybe like a Phase 7 type of thing, where they'll then introduce mutants.
So you don't think we ever get a payoff to the end of the Marvels?
I don't. Not completely. Um, I think that, and I agree with what this says, is while the multiverse saga has been incredibly ambitious, it's hard to deny that this era has had a lot more downs than ups in comparisons to the Infinity Saga. I 100% agree. I don't think that's all because you didn't get to use Kang right, but I think they just dropped the ball in way too many places, trying to do way too much with the multiverse at this point. They had a lot of duds as movies come out.
Well, they did and they didn't, right? Like, I think if you dropped those movies not in the middle of the pandemic,
Maybe.
it's
Okay.
a different experience for Black Widow not watching it at home and being in the theater for it, because it was big. Like, I would love to go see some of these again in the theater that I didn't because of the times we were in, right? Like Black Widow in the theater, very different experience, especially that huge scene at the end. It was shot to be in the theater, right? 100%. But this, and why wouldn't it be? But like that big, the Sky Fortress falling at the end, like that would have been amazing in a theater. Eternals, the whole thing was huge and cinematic. I never saw it in the movie theater. I saw it at home.
So do you think that I'm looking at what they've released so far, and as far as movies go, um, you said Black Widow would have been better in the theater. I agree with that. Do you think Shang-Chi would have been better had it not been released when it was?
No, that was still not. Look, there was some good parts to that movie.
Okay.
Um, but I did see that movie in the theater, and the end just
So did I.
went off the rails.
Yeah. Um,
Which is funny because I saw that in the theater, but I did not see Eternals in the theater
I don't remember if I did.
because it got panned so bad.
Right.
That was November of 2021, but yeah, it got panned so bad that I didn't end up going to see it. But it was still, I think maybe. Oh, you know what? There was a surge right around then, but there was a surge around Spider-Man: No Way Home too. So I don't know.
Well, that's just it. Is you had Spider-Man: No Way Home, which was a grand slam. You had Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which if Dom's still paying attention, he'll know that was just a that was to me worse than the Eternals, and I didn't even like the Eternals. You had the Thor: Love and Thunder was an awful movie, wasn't
Yeah,
good.
that didn't matter. It was in the theaters. I was so mad. I paid money to go see that.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't the strongest of the two, but it wasn't a bad movie. I
And it's funny because it feels like forever ago. That was 2 years ago today
too.
that released,
Yeah.
which
Ant-Man,
not that long.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was bad.
Yeah.
Guardians again, great. Much better. Um, and then you had the Marvels, and then there was a bunch of TV shows, and now you have Deadpool and Wolverine, and you're going to have another Spider-Man movie, Captain America. There's still a ton of stuff to come out for this.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I don't know if that hurt them is this weird combination of releasing movies that didn't translate to the small screen as
No.
well, and that's where a majority of people saw them. And then being like, oh, well, nobody went to see it. Well, yeah, but oh, you know what? Maybe I did go. No, was
Um,
Eternals one of those that was like dual released? Because I remember seeing it, but I don't
yeah,
remember. Maybe I waited.
the Eternals
I don't
came
know.
out in 2022, 2021.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
and the last two little bits of this, so they seem like they want to get out of the multiverse saga, which I agree. It's been a
Yeah,
rough couple of years. So the X-Men movie is being written by Michael Leslie. Okay. If that doesn't come until there's a mystery movie that's slated for July of 2027, if that's when the X-Men movie comes, that gives this guy 3 years to write a good movie and make it what it needs to be. Um, unless, of course, they're saving the X-Men film for the November 2027 release. Again, still plenty of time to get yourself the right actors, the right script, the right director, everything that you need
yeah.
to make this a good movie.
And Hugh Jackman will be pushing 60 by then. By the way,
He will be, but he'll still probably be in better shape than both of us.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And the very last bit was Miles Morales will appear in the third Spider-Verse movie, which is in production, and he said he hopes shortly after that he can get him into the MCU in live action finally, which is great news because that character definitely needs to be in live action.
Yeah. Yeah, look, Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to come out sometime in the next 7 years. So maybe not.
The last thing that we have to talk about is the grand, unless you have something you want to add in,
No.
is last night.
Well, we have Yellowstone, but you know.
All right, it'll take 2 seconds to do Yellowstone. When I saw the first 5 minutes of Yellowstone, I thought, holy shit, Taylor Sheridan really hated Kevin Costner. So if you are not caught up on Yellowstone, and if you are not caught up in The Penguin, we're going to back to back these real fast. Mostly it's going to be The Penguin, but I'm going to give my Yellowstone thoughts. I thought Taylor Sheridan really hated Kevin Costner the way it opened. Okay. But getting him off the show in the first 15 minutes of the show leaves you better to run the show out now. And without having to ghost around that character, getting him out of the way, I really, really want to see how they tie this back because that show's been a little bit more realistic based. I really, really want to see how they tie this all back. Okay.
Well, they give you an in for him to pop up again, or not pop up, or whatever, because they are now we get a full season of time jumping, which will be great.
It will be, and they're not even telling you that they're time jumping.
Nope.
And
they're just randomly hopping back and forth months at a pop. It's fucking wonderful.
It's really weird because when they do that in the earlier seasons, you know that they're going into the past because the actors are different. And
yeah.
So now when they did it, I had no clue what was going on myself when they went, and I was like, oh, wait, this is like months ago.
Yeah, the first time it said 6 months ago, but then didn't. Then they kept jumping back and forth between 6 months ago and now, and not telling you when it was, which was super annoying. But other than the first 5 minutes, nothing really happened this episode. So I guess we'll see what happens going forward. Excited to talk through the season with you.
A lot of great acting. A lot of great crying. Speaking of crying.
A lot of crying.
Speaking of crying. We had the end of another series or season last night. The Penguin ended. All I got to say is, and we don't really curse a lot, but what the fuck? Like, I'll tell you that they did such a good job of bringing Oz up here and making you root for him for a lot of that episode to, in the last 10 minutes of that episode, just yanking that rug out and plunging you into a pit of punji sticks.
I don't even know what that meant, but yeah.
Punji sticks were traps in Vietnam where you would walk over the jungle and you would fall into a pit of spikes, of wooden spikes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Look, I thought it was really good. I don't have many notes on this episode. It's they found the way. The thing that I had kept saying was like, man, they make you like Oz, but like, there's nothing to like about Oz after this episode.
No, no, not even a little bit. I
I'm
mean,
sure people will find ways to like somebody that's completely awful and that you want to hate, and not that that ever happens
I think
anywhere else or in real life or anything.
it kind of took the same arc as The Sopranos did. It's like you 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 like Tony Soprano, but he's a deplorable, awful human being at his core.
Right.
He's not good. And they did that with this. They did that with this character. Like he does things that make you go, oh, okay, well, I don't really see how he's such a bad guy. And then the thing with his brothers, and you're like, all right, well, that's really messed up, but okay, he was a kid, so maybe it's not that bad. And then just the end was like, I totally did not see that coming. I really didn't.
No.
I thought they were setting Vic up to be like his most trusted confidant, his underboss, so to speak, and to have him just choke him to death was
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, right? Like, is it going to be? Is he going to be Victor Zaz? What's he going to be? And then like, oh no,
nope. Um,
he's not going to be anything.
Setting Sophia up to get arrested was wonderful because I thought, okay, well, this character isn't going to be in any future Batman stuff because he's going to put a bullet in the back of her head. I
Right.
totally forgot at that point that he said he was going to set her up. Um, I liked the Selena Kyle letter at the end to Sophia in the mental back in Arkham.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Well, that was a nice setup there. We'll definitely get her, I hope, and Selena both in the Batman 2,
That's
which can be a really interesting dynamic. But I don't know what other villains you need in the Batman 2 now.
well, they haven't really said anything about it. I mean, the rumor is the Court of Owls, and we kept saying, or at least I said, how do you not have Batman notice any of this stuff? Because everything that had gone on up until the explosion was more low key, right?
Right.
And you got to remember that this is Batman in his early years, so maybe he doesn't really know how to patrol the whole city yet. So maybe he's putting out fires over here. And at the end of the episode, we get the bat signal, and supposedly this goes right into the Batman movie. It leads right into it.
Yeah, I thought overall it was a great season. I had no notes, man. I mean, like everything was really well written. There was a thought to everything. You wrapped things back around, even when they did their flashbacks. Like I didn't get why they went back to the older actress for the beginning of this episode, but then I understood as you went through.
Yeah.
And you got to the end and saw it was Julian Rush doing it, so it wasn't actually a flashback. It was her now telling the story.
Yep. The fact that she all along was like,
yeah,
like that's just, and so they're not sure if there's going to be a season 2. Colin Farrell said that he would do it if it was right and it told a good story. I can't see him wanting to do it any less. Getting into all that makeup, you're talking hours in the morning. Apparently, he's in like 5 or 6 scenes in the next Batman movie, and he signed on for the 3rd movie. So this character is going to go through all the way.
Well, the quote I saw today said that he didn't even know about he hasn't even seen a script yet.
No, but
the quote I saw today.
He said the one that I saw. He said that he was in like 5 or 6 scenes. I think, or 3 or 4 scenes. But he's in a couple of scenes in the next movie, and he signed on for the 3rd movie.
Yeah.
Look, man, this is the best setting up, and this is going to coincide with the Superman movie that James Gunn's putting out. Well, they'll be a year apart, but in different, what do they call it? Elseworlds, right? That's what they call them, Elseworlds.
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah, that's what they're billing things is. I mean, if you do a Penguin season 2 at this point, you can either bring in Catwoman, but what I would think they might do is introduce Black Mask
Mm-hmm.
as somebody coming in trying to take over from Oz as
Right.
far as the underworld goes. But I don't know if you keep Oz as the king of the underworld. Like I don't know if you keep that in Batman 2 because that's sounds like a good spot for him. But I don't know if you want to if Batman leaves that power there the way that it is, right?
And he's he's a supervillain, right? Like the Penguin is a supervillain in the comics.
I mean,
Or is he just a villain?
sure, he
Well,
doesn't have like superpowers.
no,
No.
no, I know that. He's just smart and has a lot of political connections and knows how to.
Yeah, that was more built into the animated series, is where they redid his origin story.
Okay.
With that, he originally was just a wacky dude that used like robotic penguins and stuff. You know, and like that was kind of his shtick, and was he looked dressed like a penguin, looked like a penguin, you know, all the whole 9 yards.
Well, we got
And then they evolved it. Batman the animated series did that for a lot of characters, right? Penguin was one of them, and they did it with Victor Freeze.
we got the top hat, but he didn't have it on. We got the umbrella. We got the tuxedo. So he's there. I did want to. Last thing to touch on that was the scene at the end dancing with the woman. That was creepy as hell.
Yeah, with Eve pretending. It's weird that Eve bought into that.
Yeah,
But
that's
she seemed pretty strong and independent.
yeah. That was really really bad. On a scale of 1 to bad, it was like Andy dating a high school girl bad.
Yeah, but it shows you just how out of it he is and what a fantasy he wants to live in. Like I said, weird that she's supporting it, but I guess he rules Gotham now, supposedly. So
Or at least
I guess she's doing what she's got to do, right? So
um
yeah, it's the part that's a drag is it's got to be 2 years before we get a follow up to it. So like now I got to remember all this stuff in 2 years, which I learned watching Legends of Vox Machina this week. My kid remembers a lot, but he hasn't seen 7 million TV shows.
is this a show you could go back and watch again?
No.
I couldn't either. As much as I loved it, I couldn't go back and watch it again.
But I think we've also established that I don't go back and watch anything.
Right, and I'm the king of rewatch. And I'm
Right.
saying I don't think I could sit and watch this again. Maybe. We'll see what happens in a year from now. Maybe I'll need something to watch. Doctor Who.
Yeah, because I was going to say you'll still have Doctor Who on your list that you're going to do soon.
Going to get to Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Promise.
I'm excited.
Before you get to the end of this season of The Office, I will have watched at least one episode. How's that?
I bet that will not happen.
I bet it will. But that's it.
You realize I'm going to power through season 4 of The Office tonight now, right?
Yeah, I do. I know.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go start Arcane in a few minutes. So, yeah. Hey, thanks again for finding the Geek Spot with us, everybody. Time will be a little wonky the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
With the holiday, and I got concert season coming, so we will try and find time to squeeze in at least another episode for all of you. Somewhere in there, and right now we're kind of going to be at a lull for content for a week or two anyway from a show standpoint.
Yes.
So we might take a little break. Lois and Clark continues to be great. You got not Lois and Clark, Lois and Superman. You get to watch Clark Kent as Clark Kent beat the crap out of Lex, which was wild.
That was great. We'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, so next time we see you might be that. Hopefully we'll see you before the holiday, but if we don't, have a great holiday. And in the meantime, you can check me out at Jack Kid Music and check Frank out at Gimzack. And other than that, T, would have loved you in the chat earlier, man. But same to you, man. Have a great holiday if we don't see you, and we'll talk to you all soon.
This is going to be short.